Hey guys, it's Thomas here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to episode 2 of Heartland Towers. Obviously in the first episode we built this stand-up coaster called Pulse. Here I'm just kind of adding on to the station decoration that I've done before. Didn't intentionally rhyme that there. I wanted to put some just some sort of planting on the roof or hanging down from the ceiling, as you can see here. Pretty much to carry on with the theme of the ivy I've got going up the wall. And also, as you know, if you've watched some of my other Let's Play Planet Coaster episodes in other parks, this Scaevola or Scaevola, I don't know how you pronounce it. I do think it's a really useful plant to use as decoration, and I just thought hanging that off the ceiling was, it gave it quite a good, nice effect, basically. So yeah, that was my plan there. Here I'm just starting to build some buildings around the entrance plaza. Now, in this episode, I'm going on to build a bit of a plaza, a bit of an entrance building, but it isn't going to be the final finished product. It's the design of it I'm still not 100% sure on, but I just wanted some sort of building to give me an idea of spacings, etc. So what you see that I build, not particularly this building, but the building where the gates are going to be, are something that the building itself isn't going to be permanent, essentially. So I just wanted a bit of a toilet block here. What you will notice is the ghost from Ghostbusters keeps popping up. I realised that the setting for Ghostbusters was switched on when I started the park, and now that I've turned it off, the ghost is still hanging around. So unfortunately, the ghost is going to be hanging around the park. He's not terrorising the guests, but you see him there. He just floats around and then disappears and then pops up somewhere else. So yeah, you'll keep seeing the ghost from time to time throughout the series, I imagine. But without starting afresh and turning off the setting straight away, I can't get rid of him, apparently. So that is the reason for that. So like I said, I'm just here. I'm just kind of continuing a bit of a toilet block. There's not a lot of stuff going in here. It's just going to be a toilet building just to get people going in this section. But everything else is just going to be there for show. It's not going to be a functioning building. But as I said, I just wanted a bit of an entrance building to the side just to give it a bit of a realistic touch. I may end up putting one or two shops in one of the side bits. Who knows? But at the minute, that's what I am going to leave it as, just the building kind of just kind of sat there with a few toilets inside, and then obviously I just had to adjust the ceiling here, just because being inside there, you could look straight up and just look straight at the roof. So yeah, I just wanted to adjust the ceiling. Now in this episode, there isn't any new rides going in. This is mainly a bit of a scenery episode. We do carry on with the scenery for Pulse, with the scenery on the other side of the track, which you can see in the background, where after it's gone over the loops to the other side of the plaza, that is going to have some scenery added to it, just to again give it a bit more decoration. I want to get the scenery for Pulse spot on before kind of building out from it, because I want to kind of set that as a sort of like a base for one of the main areas, basically. So here I was just kind of deciding how to block up the gap between the queue line and the in the entrance plaza, because obviously you don't want guests just kind of wandering over without buying a ticket. So yeah, I thought if we just put some trees across and kind of block out the view of the queue line, and then at the same time as that, also put a bit of a wooden fencing along just to kind of block it off, essentially. So that was my thinking for this element. Now at this point, I was kind of looking at what I wanted to do for a main entrance. So I went for some like metal supports here, just going all the way along, and then in between some of them there will be the park entrance gate, gate tickets, or gate ticket entrance, just so the guests can come into the park. As I say, at this point, the design for the plaza, I do want to make a really nice building, but I wanted to. I've not really got what my plan in mind at the minute. Here I'm just kind of switching the settings to try and get rid of the ghost, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. But yeah, sorry, going back to the Plaza. So yeah, I do want to have a really nice entrance building, but at the minute I can't think of a design, or in my head I can't kind of work one out at the moment. But I did want to get something in there, roughly, in terms of taking up a bit of space, just so in my head and visually I can see the space that it's taking up, just so I can work everything else around it. The last thing I wanted to do was kind of build the rest of the park, come back to the entrance, and then have to work between different gaps and have to shuffle things about. So yeah, I wanted to get the spacing and path and everything else right here before I then went on to to change everything. So as I say, this isn't permanent. This is just me getting sort of spacings right. And also at the same time as this, I wanted to open up the park to guests. In the past, I've kind of kept park shut until later on in the series, or even until the last episode. In this series, I just thought, you know what, let's just open it up and get them going in straight away. And obviously, there is only the one ride at the minute, so everyone coming into the park, all I think a couple of hundred people end up coming in, all head straight to Pulse. And the queue line does look good. There's a bit more work to be done on the queue line, which you'll see coming up. But other than that is this is pretty much the episode for today. So as I say, the entrance building here, I was going for like a brick style building, but as I do want to make it a bit more fancy for the park entrance, and I do want to have some more decoration, some more standout theming. So this was just kind of it, because I've got the loop going over the entrance. I wanted to make sure that I'd get the space right for a building to interact with that and not take up room in the rest of the park, basically. And the track is on a bit of a slant, which made things a little bit more awkward, which you can see here. I'm just kind of playing around with a few gaps, which is why once you've seen me complete this, the building will may look sort of 90% finished, but that is on purpose. So don't be sat there wondering, thinking, well, why on earth you left it like that? Because I am fully aware that it's not it's not perfect yet, so I do need to adjust that. And to be honest, it might be a complete redesign. I just wanted the rough shape there, and that's pretty much it. So but I mean, as you can see, that a lot of the guests do enjoy Pulse. So once the park does have a few more attractions in, it'll be very nice to see how many of them do go straight to that and then start spreading out. I do want to kind of get a few more flat rides in the main entrance of the park as they come through the gate, just to sort of distract the guests really, and sort of split them off and get them separated, so there's not like a huge crowd all going to one main attraction at the start, etc. It's nice that as soon as they come in the park, they break away and go off to different areas. But I'm pleased with how it's starting. As I say, really happy with how Pulse has come out, and although bits of it do look a bit bland at the minute, it's one of these things that the more that things start getting added around it, and the more the track is interacting with other elements of the park, the better it will look. So here, this is where I mentioned earlier that we're just going to be putting some scenery in. So what I decided to do was just have like a body of water here that that Pulse can go around, and I wanted to have a bit of a plane crash going in the middle of the lake really, and having a few sort of trigger sequences going off, just a few like explosions, etc. And then because of that, on this side, I just wanted a bit of a wooden fence, essentially, just to split everything off from the guests, just so they couldn't see anything around there. And obviously, just so I know it's not realistic that the guests would do this, but just so they couldn't go and run and jump into the park without paying. So so that was my thinking around here. Wanted to just kind of carry on with the rocky theme for Pulse just around this section of the track anyway. Probably wouldn't be in the main section of the park, but just for the two side elements, just wanted to carry on with that rocky theme. So yeah, here's the plane that is going in. Wanted to put that in, put a bit of an explosion and some flames, and then it's a case of creating some trigger sequences so that as the train comes round to this section, everything goes off, you know, and it just adds another sort of fun factor to the ride, really. So yeah, you know, it's just a bit of a story of of a plane crashing into the lake, and that's what, you know, that's what you're going to be seeing. So yeah, I'm just adding on to the trigger sequences. Obviously, we got the original 4 for the 4 water fountains or the water jets originally. So yeah, we got that set up. So yeah, we'll have a look. We'll have a look at everything on Pulse once everything is, you know, perfectly in. I know we had a POV in the last episode, but I just wanted to kind of show you what the ride looked like, and then once it's themed, we'll go back on it and have a full POV. Now, in the main Plaza area, I just wanted some fountains here, just to add a bit of decoration essentially. So we've got 4 that are sort of interlinking with each other, and all interacting. I think it will. I do think this looks quite nice when it's done. I do like a nice colourful entrance, and you know, using fountains and flowers is one way to do that. Before I carry on with that, I did want to just kind of put in some sort of information booths or ticket booths, etc., into the front of this plaza. Again, these aren't necessarily going to stay there. It's just to give me a sort of idea as to what I can put into this gap for the building before I, you know, decide on a final design, basically. But yeah, the rectangular building that you see at the minute isn't going to be the finished product. This is just kind of a temporary building, should we say. So my next step from here was just to kind of go around and add a bit more theming to the main section of Pulse, and I'm just kind of put in some bare trees, some dead trees, lots of different types, you know, all set at different angles and different heights, just to add a bit more decoration, really. I know they don't really stand out that much since they're sort of colourless and brown, but they, you know, they do kind of blend in with the terrain that is surrounding the ride. So yeah, that was my thinking around here, and I do think it does add to the ride. Again, I've done some sort of trial runs, and I do think the POV looks better now that there is trees and shrubbery around there. We've got some cacti going in here, again, all different sizes, etc. Just wanted to mix it up so there's not just one continuous theme of trees. That is something I've kind of done in the past on other parks, and you know, I suppose it's more laziness out of anything, rather than flicking between them. But I do think it looks better when the trees are mixed up. Here I'm just putting in the wooden fence that I mentioned earlier, just to kind of cut off this section of the park from the entrance plaza. And then yeah, just kind of having a browse around, seeing what I could fit in, seeing how things were sort of turning out. What I did want is a bit of a path going underneath the coaster here, or at least through the terrain, bit of a tunnel, just to kind of separate the guests onto a different path, to kind of spread them out, and B, just so I can like sort of put another attraction down there, and the guests can kind of use 2 different paths to get there. I do sometimes feel that if you just have one main path going all the way around, it can get quite crowded at points. So yeah, having multiple paths going to the same destination can sometimes be a good way around that. Here I'm just kind of going in for the fountains and just kind of improving the way they stand out and the way they look. Not going anything too complicated here. If you watch my recent park review on Wonderland, you'll see some fantastic water features on there, and yeah, I'm nowhere near building anything as good as that. I just wanted a bit of a nice entrance, so as soon as you come out the tunnel, you know, it's a nice eye-catching sort of, you know, fountain and welcoming scene, basically. And then between the gaps between the fence and the fountains, I just wanted a bit of colour Some plants here, just kind of twisting and turning them just so they didn't look too continuous. But I did like this orange colour here. I just thought that mixed with the fountain, you know, the blue of the fountains goes along, and it does sort of match the orange and blue of Pulse as well. So yeah, it's all, you know, it's all pieced together well, and the colours are there for a reason. It's not going to be a continuous park full of orange and blue. There is going to be different sections that are going to be different colours. However, obviously Pulse you can see from the main entrance as you come in, so that's why I went for the colour scheme as I have done here. So yeah, I'm just kind of finishing off the planting here, and this is pretty much the last part of this this episode. Really, is just finishing off the planting. So yeah, just finish off this tiny little gap, and then that is it for episode 2. So if you have enjoyed that, please leave a like. Plenty more episodes to come in this park. As I say, I can build a lot more on the build counter now. So yeah, really looking forward to maximising that out. So yeah, if you did like that, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and just, you know, let me know what you think below. And we will continue with Heartland Towers in the next episode. So yeah, thank you for watching, and shall see you next time. Goodbye.